Hello, beautiful people. You're all welcome to yet another episode of Tech Career Clinic, also known as TCC. In this episode, we will be, just like we always do, we will be demystifying UI UX design. And to do that with me, I will be having conversations with two really amazing and highly experienced UI UX designers who have an industry experience of over 12 years combined. So I'm certain that this episode will be extremely exciting. So as always, I remain your host. My name is Tersoo Hulugh, and I am the founder of Maxify Global. I'm a product manager, and I have about over 8 years experience working in the tech industry for tech products and organizations across Africa, Nigeria, North America, and the UK. So I will be walking you guys through the event. In a few seconds from now, we will be introducing our amazing speakers as they join us. So I'm sure you all want to know what TCC is all about. So TCC is an initiative of Maxify Global, and it is a career acceleration event designed to support and encourage the next generation of African young talent. So we hope that these events will help give you direction, encouragement, and motivation. So for each series, we pick one in-demand role in tech, and then we bring in professionals to demystify this role. So for this episode, featuring UI UX design, if you're joining us, could you please mute your microphone? Thank you. So we will be demystifying UI UX design, and to do that with me, I have Nelson and I have Nwamaka. So hello, Nelson. Could you please turn on your camera?
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Nice to have you.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. How about you?
Cool. It's a pleasure to have you join us. And your partner in this event is not yet with us, but I'm certain she's going to join us soon.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, okay, she's here. Nwamaka is here. Welcome. Could you please turn on your camera? Okay. Hi.
Hello, Tersoo.
Yeah.
Good evening. Or should
yes.
I say good morning your time? I don't know what your time
is. Good morning. Welcome. You're welcome.
Oh. All right. Thank you so much. I'll be turning on my camera in a few minutes. Please, I just need to pack. Thank you.
Okay. No worries.
All right.
Thank you very much. So we will have a few seconds for you guys to introduce yourselves and tell us who you are, give us a background of what you do. I know, Nelson, I already know what you're going to say, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. So so just tell us who you are, where you work, and just a quick background about yourself and what you do.
All right. Okay. So I'm Nelson Mojowaoluwa by name, and I work as a product manager at Kavlr in UK. I have a serious design background, uh, dating back down to, let's say, 10 years, 10 years, the general design background actually. And I have altogether now 4 years in the product design space. So that's been a wonderful experience. We learn, we relearn, and we keep learning. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Nice, nice. It's
Yeah,
good to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. I
yeah,
am
pleasure
familiar with
too.
Kavlr. That's where we actually met. Yeah, when I
Yeah,
was the product manager at Kavlr. And
yeah,
yeah, it was a really good experience working with you. And we actually built an amazing product that is live now and being used by so many
yeah,
people in the UK. So
yeah.
next we have Nwamaka. Would you be able to speak?
Yes, I'll be able to speak.
Okay, cool. Finally, she joins us. You're welcome.
Thank you, Tersoo.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Nwamaka is the CEO of Betakopa. I'm really excited about the story, and I would like to hear the story myself and also give the viewers, the audience, an opportunity to hear your story and also your journey so far. So tell us who Nwamaka is. Tell us what inspired you to become a UI UX designer and also a founder of a web-based product.
Yeah, okay. So I would just start by saying, okay, you already know my name, but I'll say my name is Nwamaka Nwosu. I am a UX consultant basically currently, and I happen to be the co-founder of Top Universe as well as the CEO of Betakopa. So my journey basically started out of curiosity. I was, let's say, roaming the internet space. I first started off as a digital marketer. Then along the line, I made a switch to social media management. And after a while, I kind of started off tech and I went back into fashion designing. Then later I got back, I was critic I think I saw a friend's design and I was literally just saying, why is this happening? What is going on? And then they're like, since I could critique design, why don't I try UI UX design? And I was like, not my field, basically. I would prefer something more technical. But I still decided to go into it. And from there, that's how my journey into design started. Because I already had a background of sales and all of that. So it was easy to come into design and understand how the process works.
Cool.
Forming Betakopa for me was just like as a means to help people shorten their journey because they didn't have to go through the path I went through because basically I spent a long while roaming around the tech field before I finally found my place. So Betakopa is more like a training platform for people coming into tech where they go through counseling first, then we're able to guide them into what tech skills to take. So
Awesome.
that's my story.
That is really inspiring. I can absolutely relate.
Can anyone still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's really inspiring,
Yes.
and honestly, I can relate because most of us went through the NYSC route, and we know how it was always confusing. What next after service? What next? We're not sure. So it's really amazing for you to come up with a solution that can give core members direction. Help them find their place in society because personally, I'm guilty of doing so many things before I found what I really wanted to do. So I can absolutely relate. So, still on
Yes.
you, Nwamaka, the
But then
the
better copper is not just for coppers though. I know it has the name copper.
oh really?
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
just for coppers. Actually, copper means light in Swahili. So
really?
yes, so it's not just for coppers, it's for
Oh,
anyone. But
so
since it has that copper in it, we still have a program
hmm,
with
that's
coppers as
interesting.
well. So it's
So
not strictly for corpers.
could you throw us more light on what Betakopa is, who its target market is, and how people can actually access it?
I didn't get that, sorry.
Okay, could you tell us more about Betakopa, who it's designed for, and how our audience and other people can access the solution?
Okay, so Betakopa is more like a mid ground that's for those leaving school that are still figuring out what they want to do. And then it's also for youth corpers, those that want to get into the tech field. Then we have a platform for those that are as well transitioning into it. But we also have a business part of Betakopa that deals with helping companies and business upskill their staffs, meaning that it has a broad category for anyone who wants to come in. But at the same time, when we tend to focus on individuals coming into tech or students and corpers, we kind of have like counseling sessions with them, or we have sessions with them where we get to listen to them, hear them state out their what their passion is, what their drive is, and then guide them through a process. So I think the best way to access Betakopa is through our website, that's betakopa.com, and every other thing follows, because you can go through the website and still be confused, but you can also chat us up and then we'll have that session to like make sure that we're able to narrow it down as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. You guys are doing God's work.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as a founder, I understand, I'm sure you understand the importance of user experience in driving business success. So can you share specific examples of how how do I say it? Specific examples of how you guys utilize your UI UX skills to achieve these results?
Okay, so because of my experience in UX, and then we know that everything to get users, you need to create a great experience or a seamless experience so that they don't just come in and find it confusing, especially in products. We try as much as possible to make them understand what is going on and to make the site as simple as possible so that you don't have a situation where they just come in and then get confused, because at the end of the day, user experience is going to determine how much your product is going to scale and how much users you're going to get. Because if you can't have a bad experience, a bad user experience, and then expect the product to scale, people will run from anything that seems to stress them. So it's best to like make it seamless, and that is what we have done with Betakopa. And like I would always say, every user experience is iterative. We are going to keep working on it and improving it. That's why even with Betakopa website, you can come in today and see something, and tomorrow you might get there and see something else. It's just the process which it flows, basically.
Awesome, awesome. That's really educative. And
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of our users, this is for Nelson, a lot of our users will be asking, okay, UI UX, we see it as like attractive, but what are the benefits? So Nelson, I know you have industrial experience of over 10 years working for tech products within Nigeria and beyond. So what are the benefits? If I decide to become a UI UX designer now, what are the benefits? What are the gains? For example, what's the salary range? Is he hands-on? What's flexibility of jobs and availability? Stuff like that.
All right, thank you very much. That's an interesting question, actually. Let me move to where there is much light. Well, let me start by saying this. This industry is a very sensitive industry that you at first don't want to come in because of the money. I have a lot of people asking me these same questions. What are the benefits of being a UI UX designer? I would tell them that there's a whole lot of benefits being a UI UX designer. But everything does not happen in the space of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Everything happens in a process. Now, what I'm saying in essence is that first thing first, before you can get yourself out there as a UX designer, you must understand the core of what this niche of design offers. People tend to come in because of the money. And I would say that the money varies. And I would say that if your journey is smooth enough, you would get the money when you are actually industry ready. We have so many guys out there who are not industry ready because you cannot say you want to earn so much money and you are not perfecting your skills and what you're supposed to know, the preliminary studies you ought to carry out as an entry designer. So now this will lead me to say that in Nigeria, entry level in Nigeria, it's still fair to say a UI UX designer who is just starting can earn over 200,000 naira. Over 200,000 naira. Nigeria it's not a stable industry where most designers get paid with the standard. I hope you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Tersoo.
Yeah.
Most designers don't get paid the standard, the world standard. But if you own your skills and you understand what it takes to be a UI UX designer, there are so many privileges. Both one of the sweetest privilege I have experienced so far is working
Yes.
working remotely is one of the experience that I would say it's one of the best because it gives me the chance to think in my own space, having the time to yourself to own your skills to the maximum. You get what I'm saying? So it is really a sweet benefit if you understand your skills very much. You would work less supervised, and if you know what you're doing, you will really go far in the industry. The industry key is just know what you're doing, and you are just going to get far, far, far and farther than you have ever been. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for that advice. And I'm sure our audience are listening. Building on what you said, could you please elaborate on what UI UX people who want to come into the UI UX space, what kind of learning tools and technologies can they, if I want to start now, I'm interested in UI UX design, what kind of tools, what kind of learning resources, how can I access these resources?
Okay, there are diverse resources on online. We have the Google UI UX course. We have some other private UI UX course on Udemy, Coursera. But one of the things I really want to hammer on is that to start with, if you want to learn UI UX, it's really important that you have a mind of consistency. You can get a course online and it's really going to be hard to finish. If you are consistent about it, you would get the best out of it. So now we have diverse tutors on YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, Google UI UX course is also on Coursera. So if the gap that you have between you and getting this skill is the ability to research for more information. Are you getting what I'm saying now? It's the ability sit on your own without anybody spoon feeding you, and you have the determination that, okay, this is it, I want to get this, and I'm going to get it. That's the determination. That's one of the best things that you can ever do for yourself before you can start the tools that you will need, Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD, InVision, Protopie, all these guys. Some of these tools are free, especially Figma is a fine and collaborative UI UX tool that you can lay your hands upon. The basic instruction I would give is that you need to start your studies from the ground level. Ground level, when I say ground level, is knowing how to conduct researches, because that is the UX part of it, and that should come first before you learning how to design the interface and all like that. We have so many half-baked product person out there who doesn't even know how to conduct research, who doesn't know anything about testing, who doesn't know. So all these things are in levels, and if you can give yourself to deep learning, you would get the best out of it. Thank you.
Awesome. So back to Amaka. For founders and entrepreneurs who are relatively new to UI UX design, what steps or resources would you recommend for them to start building a foundational understanding of the field UI UX design?
Okay, just like Nelson said, we have a lot of materials out there. So it's then dependent on where they want to start from. Then they should understand that it's not just about the money. Now, I understand that money is important, but passion as well is important. And still on what Nelson said, you have to be very consistent, because for UI UX, the field is ever evolving. Like, you can wake up tomorrow and find out that we have this trend going on, and then we have this one going on. So it means that they would have to keep up. So it means that best advice I usually give is pick a particular course and follow it through. Don't go about starting on 3 to 4 different levels. Just pick one thing and follow it on. Now, for founders, it's let's say for founders it depends, because now we have founders come from different aspects of tech and different places. So there are a lot of things to look out for, basically. So I think it's just based on what they want to achieve at the moment and what they feel like the designers should have. That would matter a lot, yes.
Awesome. I'm really keen on that, because I'm also a founder myself, and very often at Maxify Global, what we do is we build software solutions for tech companies. So for government organizations and even private firms. So we understand how important the user interface and the user experience is, more especially to our customers, because most of them are always this as a whole channels back to revenue. Because if I get on the website and I see that I'm confused about what is here, there's a possibility that I'm just going to walk away.
Yes.
I understand you guys say something about the 4-second rule, that whoever comes to your website should be able to figure out what this website is all about and make a decision in 4 seconds. So
yes.
if that only hammers on the fact that UI user experience and user interface design is really important. And that now leads me to the next step, the next stage, which will be mentorship. I would like to understand how important mentorship is and volunteering when trying to grow your career.
Okay, so mentoring and volunteering plays a huge role. And then the thing I feel I see with designers most times, because I tend to interact more with UI UX designers since it's my field and since it's something I'm passionate about, especially when it comes to education. We have a lot of designers coming out not knowing what they really want, and most don't want to be mentored. They come in with a mentality of, okay, I am how like I am in my all. I do not want to be corrected. And then design is about correction and iterating. So you might see something from a different angle and the users will see something from another angle. For one thing, we say designers are not users, meaning that the way a designer approaches a design is different from how a user would approach a design. But mentoring would help them know how to move around. But mentoring helps them know how to move around. But most times they feel like they don't need to be mentored. And then mentorship is kind of hard on the mentors side. I would come from my own aspect of it. I tend to mentor people, but I am very selective of who I mentor. Reason is not like I'm too busy. Okay, I have a busy schedule, right? But at the same time, you have to be ready to be mentored. Mentoring some people is difficult because of the way they think, and then you cannot override a person's opinion about certain things, especially if they're not open to learning. So I would say mentoring and volunteering goes a long way, because I got where I got so faster because I was always volunteering and I had a mentor as well. I volunteered to the extent that I was volunteering for like maybe four different organizations. And for me, it was just like the place where you decided that, okay, I want to work under pressure. I want to see what it's like working under pressure. I want to gain this experience as well. And then my mentor was someone who didn't take, let me say, who didn't take rubbish, because I've had times I'd come back and I'd be like, this is this, and the next thing I hear is that's not working, take it off. Why do you have it that way? Why do you feel the user will go this way? So he was someone who was very meticulous in helping me grow. And even though I tend to get annoyed, but it really helped build me to this point. So I'll say mentoring and volunteering is very important as UI UX designers coming up, because best way to grow is there's this proverb they say, if you want to go fast, I think if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to, I think I'm missing it up, so let me just keep that.
Yeah.
So it's more, it's more like get someone and walk alongside with them, because you go far if you work with people, and that's what has really helped me. So it's very important.
Awesome. Awesome. Nelson, you have anything to add about the importance of mentorship and volunteering and how it has impacted your own career so far?
Yeah, the little I would add to that is she had already said a lot. You see, most people come to you for mentorship. They do not want to be mentored. They just want access. They just want to have access to you. Having access to you, not in the way that not with the motive of learning, but so that they can tell their peers and their friends that, oh, that guy, I have his number, and we talk, we do this, we do that.
Exactly.
That is one of the reasons why I also I am selective when it comes to mentorship. I'm really selective because recently I organized a boot camp, and a lot of people applied for the boot camp. It shocked them when I had to interview them personally to sieve out the ones I don't really think they would thrive. And it's to my surprise, I only have a few people in my community. I just need a few people who are ready to learn and then ready to give it all, like ready to give everything they have to learn and to be a better person in this industry. Mentorship is a good thing. You move faster when you have someone who can hold you by the hand, show you where to go in the industry. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I really can resonate with what you guys are saying. And yeah, it's I think the mentality of mentorship will have to be redefined, and the upcoming young tech professionals will or enthusiasts will have to understand the concept of mentorship and how it works, because your mentor is definitely, for him to be your mentor, it means he's highly experienced. And for that person to be highly experienced, it means they are going to be very busy. So please make sure when you finally find a mentor, you understand what it is. You don't ask your mentor a question that you can find the answer on Google. That's one of my principles when I mentor people. I tell them, hey, anything you can find on Google, just go. You have to research. The ability to carry out your own research could be the difference between you succeeding and you failing. Because the mentor has a lot he has on his hands and is trying to sort those things out. He can't just let them go and just, and get to spend all the time not nurturing you, to get to the next level. So yeah, I completely resonate with what you guys are saying. So if next is career and job advice. So if I, as a UI UX designer, trying to get a job, let's say now I've taken your advice, I've gone to Coursera, I've maybe done the Google UI UX design course, and I'm done. And now I need to find a way to practicalize the skills that I just learned. So what places how do I start? Are there platforms, are there resources out there? What can I leverage on to increase the chances of me getting that next job? I think we'll have to go with Amaka first.
All right. So what resources to leverage? I think first things first, internships and also networking. There's something I always say to my students. They hear that a lot from me. You can't be an introvert, especially if you're in the tech space. Now, it's okay. You can be an introvert when you're home, but if you're going to exist in this space, you're going to be extroverted, meaning you're going to have to network because your next job might come from someone you just spoke to or someone you met at an event. So you're going to learn to network. Even on the community, even on my community, you hear it always. Network, network, network. So networking is key first, then internship, like looking out for internships. I think the major problem we have is that most tech interns or most UI UX designers who are just learning want to come in and then they want to be paid six figures. And then like if I'm asked or if I ask them to say from your heart, say your experience level, from your heart that you have not yet built up that career to go like 6 steps, just start from somewhere. Basically, you can start out volunteering before you even get an internship role, or basically you can get something to be doing by the side while you're learning your tech skills, because getting a job, especially in our own sphere, like looking from the Nigeria perspective, might be quite taxing, but you will eventually get one. But before you get one, first accept that a starting off salary is cool. Just make sure that it's not something that it's below what your worth, but it's something that should be able to carry you on. And you don't come out with the mindset like, if it is not 6 figures, if it is not 8 figures, I'm not taking it, especially for a junior or an intern. Speak somewhere, probably start from an internship level, pick a salary that is cool for you. Don't have it fixed in your mind that you're getting 6 figures instantly. Just accept that whatever you get, as long as it's going to work for you, you would grow up that chain. Then you can keep searching, you search for remote roles. I think that's one thing design allows us to do. We can work remotely as well. So make sure your CV is cool and yeah, go searching, you get something.
Awesome. Nelson, you want to add your advice?
Well, I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say because
Carry on.
we need to understand one fact that probably you have a UI UX design friend, and the person is doing well, earning 6 figures already, and you fixed your mind to that fact that you're doing the same design now. I suppose don't earn more than this, more than that. But you see, your journey is different. Understand this and have your peace. Journey is as for me, I didn't apply for any internship before I got the job. I I most of the jobs, most of the gigs I've worked on the past, I didn't intern at all. That is why I tell people that your journey differs. what you should make sure you focus on and you get right is owning that skill. You see, if you are good, you know what you're doing, you understand what it's how users think, you understand how to make a design convert sales, you would definitely get a job, because industries are looking for better designers. And to be honest with everyone listening to this right now, you need to also pitch yourself out there. You know, go to tech meetings, join a community. There is a community I will recommend for designers, and that is Nigeria Graphic Design community on Facebook. If you want to grow, if you really think highly of yourself, that okay, I want to grow, I want to take my step higher, join design communities that have constructive criticisms, not those ones that will pamper you. And that is what many people are running away from. People strongly criticizing what you do. So, to cap it all, understand it that your journey for everyone, or your journey with comparing to any other person, might be different. Just make sure that you own your skill and you are doing it right. That's what I have to say on that.
Awesome. Awesome. This is really educative. And we also would like to ask, when it comes to people who, yes, they are interested in UI UX design, and perhaps they already have the skills to a level, and they want to be able to explore other avenues. So if I'm a UI UX designer and I be like, hey, I really don't want to work for anybody, or I want to work for people for a while, and then I want to start my own thing, like I want to be an entrepreneur, what advice do you guys have for those kind of people? Where can they find resources to be successful in maybe being as a freelancer or starting up an agency and stuff like that? What advice would you have for those kind of people? Nelson?
Well, all these things are rooted into a community-based system. If you want to start up as a freelancer and you don't belong to any community, you might be on a long run. The only thing that could save you as an individual is that you have an exceptional skills that it can never, people's eyes can never go off it. Make friends with people. Just make sure that you don't allow imposter syndrome to put you down. Sign up on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, LinkedIn, stuff like that. Those platforms can help you get your next. And most importantly, your portfolio must be convincing. Your portfolio is one of your strong and your strength when it has to come with freelancing. It must be strong. It really must be strong. Thanks.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Amaka, you wanna take that? The mic is
All right.
mute. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just like Nelson has said, you have to like join communities, then you have to be on Fiverr and Upwork. You have to just make yourself very visible to be seen. Just go out, network, speak, be in communities. Don't just join a community and be quiet. No. Accept that you're going to grow and you're going to learn. And freelancing is no jokes. It might take time, but at the end of the day, you go through it. So just take it one step at a time, basically. That's all I'll say to that.
Awesome. Awesome. This really makes sense, because as personally I also mentor individuals, and I'm a career coach. And most times I tell people who walk up to me or some of my clients that, hey, first, you really have to treat yourself like a brand, because as an individual, you can't really ask me to pay you so much when you don't look the
You
part,
don't
you know.
that.
Yeah, if you can't go buying a Mercedes Benz and you're pricing it as if you want to buy maybe another type of car. I don't want to market or discredit any vehicle here, but that's just how life works. You know, you have to look the part, and then your profile online has to tell a story clearly about who you are and where exactly you want to go. So your profile on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram has to tell a story. Yeah, social media is I personally feel it's not a platform for just having fun. It's also a platform to market yourself out there, to pitch yourself to the world, and have them see you for who you want them to perceive you as. So this is extremely important to our audience and upcoming UI UX designers, or generally in careers. First, you have to work on yourself, identify your focus, know what you want to do, where you want to focus on, what you want to achieve, find your path, direction, which is the mentors, and be willing to volunteer at organizations to be able to get that experience under your belt. As you're as you're ticking all these boxes, make sure you're telling your story on your social media handles, because if you don't believe in yourself, why should someone else believe in you and hire you? It really doesn't add up. So I always advise them, get your focus, fix your online profile, tell your story, volunteer, get experience, put your resume together, and then streamline who exactly you are interested in, and shoot your shot. Always be ready to pitch yourself, because you consider yourself a brand and a product. So yeah, this has really been an amazing ride. Uh, at this point, we will be checking the chat to see if we have some questions for you guys. And if we do, we'll take these questions, and then we'll give you guys an opportunity to maybe say a couple of final words, and then we take some announcements, and then we wrap up. So I can see we have a couple of questions. One, what skills do I need to be a UI UX designer? So I think Nwamaka will have to take this, considering the fact that she has expertise in helping people find guidance and achieve find the path for them. So what skills do I need to be a UI UX designer?
Okay, so we have a couple of skills, but I'll start with being empathetic. You can't help people solve a problem if you're not empathetic. You have to be what else? You're going to have to be willing to learn. Let me start. In short, the first and foremost, you have to be willing to learn. You have to be empathetic. You have to be your communication has to be very clear. Then you also have to be very, no, I don't know why this is leaving my mind. But you also have to be very, I don't want to say you have to be very intrusive. Intrusive is not in a bad way, but in a good way, in the sense that you have to be able to ask questions. Like you have to be able to ask a whole lot of questions. If you can have, for me, if you can have these three, that's being empathetic, you have to you have to have clear communication skills, and then you have to be very, let me not use intrusive anymore. You have to be very outspoken and clear and asking questions. I think that's the best skills you need as a designer, because that's the only way you're going to understand what the product is going to be about, what you need to design for, be it UI, UX, and how to create your flows and understand processes basically.
Nice.
So that.
Thank you. The next question goes to Nelson, because I know you're a product designer at Kavlr, and then you also a UX, UI, UX designer. So the question goes, what is the difference between a UX designer and a product designer?
No, I feel like you're empathetic, basically. You have
Well,
to be
let me start by saying that let's understand
empathetic.
the two fields. Now, I would say that a UX designer is saddled with some responsibility, to focus
On you,
primarily concerned with the overall user experience, which
UX.
include usability, accessibility and user satisfaction. You get so, and then
On
also there's a responsibility to conduct user research, to create personal wireframing, prototyping, interfaces, conducting usability testing, and also it is really important to be goal oriented as a UX designer. These are people to optimize the user interaction with the product, making it user friendly and enjoyable. That's one of the major goal as a UX designer. That is what UX designer does. When it comes to uh, product designer, what a product designer does, is to take a broader approach, considering not only the user experience, but also, the product and the entirety of the product and design functionality. Also, they have a responsibility, in addition, the responsibility is to take task often to collaborate, cross-functional teams, including engineers and marketers. This is someone who is overseeing the product from the start to the finish. He's not left out on the product. Talking about research, the product designer is there. Talking about the handoff when the dev guys are working on the product, the product designer is there. You get so the major goal is just to create a well-rounded, marketable product that aligns with the company's goals and user need. So as a UX designer, you are only focused on the user experience and the user interface of the product. But as a product designer, you are a major stakeholder from the beginning of the product down to the end of the product till you have a market, till you get into the market. So basically, that's it.
Nice. Next question, is there a difference between a UX designer and a graphic artist? Can I be one without the other? Nelson, can you feast on that?
Okay. Well, graphic designer graphic designer is the bedrock to these things. A graphic designer is the bedrock to these things. If you understand how typography works, if you understand how design orientation works, everything that has to do with design, you have the foreknowledge of it. You can always switch into UI UX. It's just a matter of presenting ideas, presenting information, presenting visuals in an appealing manner, and also in a manner that makes end users understand what you are trying to convey to them without mincing words, expressions, and all like that.
Okay, nice. Another question is, why should I have a UX designer on my dev team? I think you've thrown a little light on that already. Am I
No, I
correct?
would like to explain more. I would like to explain more.
Awesome.
It is really important to have a UI UX designer in your dev team. And the reason is because developers have a role to bring a product to life. they should not be saddled with the responsibility to help you think on how users think or how users feel, to empathize. It is important that to allow a designer who is an expertise, an expert, to handle that responsibility for your developers. This will reduce workload. This will reduce the time you have to spend to bring your product to life. If you don't have a designer in your team, it's really going to tell on how the product is going to look like. So it is really important to get someone who is an expert in that field to help you do the thinking, to help you communicate expressly to your end users. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I really can't agree I can't agree more, because in fact, the Maxify team would tell you how we do a lot of battling when it comes to UX and UI design. We pay attention to so many details, and because we understand how important it is to get these things right. And like you rightly said, when the UI UX designer works with the dev team, the team is more complete. You know, the back and forth is reduced, product execution time is reduced significantly, because the developers are not just building blindly. You know, they have the mock-ups, they have the prototypes already done, and then they are building based on what the prototype is saying, and that makes the whole process really easier. So next question, we have a lot of questions here. So cool. Is it advisable to use other designers' portfolio during job interviews or freelancing as a beginner? Amaka, can you?
All right, let me take that now. I would say don't do that. Don't try it. Reason being that if someone calls you out for copying their design, it's more or less tinting your own image. And most times when you get called out because you use someone else's portfolio, it's bad because they do it on all platforms. And then we're in an age where a single Google search can ruin you. So don't do that. Instead, what you would do is clone people's design. Like I say this every day to UI UX designers when you're coming in. If you know you're going to get good, pick someone you admire, take their design, start cloning, just clone design. The more you redesign something else, something someone has already worked on, the easier it becomes from you. And even if you are going to share their work as your work, you are going to share it as a clone. At least you have more backing that you cloned it, and it's either you cloned it perfectly or you cloned it imperfectly, but either ways you cloned it. But please don't do that. I think I saw a case where someone took someone else's portfolio and interviewed for a job. Unfortunately, the person that interviewed him was a friend to the person he took his portfolio. So you can imagine the war. And it was not fine because there's this thing I got to find out recently about tech in Nigeria. If a particular recruiting firm should blacklist you, I promise you'll not get a job in Nigeria. Except you're getting a job in a small startup, but you won't get a job in any big startup. It's that bad if they blacklist you. So to avoid the whole trouble, clone designs, share them out as clones and use it as a portfolio, but do not take someone's portfolio to interview for a job. Because at the end of the
Awesome.
day, you don't even understand the process.
I think that makes complete sense. And sometimes I would also advise that you can pick an existing design and make it better. You know, you can pick an existing design, you can make it better, and then push it out there. You can pick even a popular design and maybe redesign the Facebook landing page and say, what do you guys think? You know, stuff like that. It still shows your skills, it shows your creativity and all that. But cloning, picking somebody else's design and claiming it is yours, it's absolutely too risky. So to the audience, let's know where you're joining us from in the chat. Just your name and the country you're joining us from, please. Thank you. Next question. How does the UX designer help the front-end developer get their job done faster and better?
Should I take that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So there's the way it works is a front-end designer basically brings like what you see or implements the design a UX designer has designed rather. So the best way is when you do handovers. When you hand over to a designer or a developer, basically front-end developer, you have to categorically state the process. You are listing out flows that they should follow. You are setting out all assets that have been used in that design so that they don't have to think about it. All they have to do is pick the various assets from your design file and work with it. So you have to literally guide them through the process. I think we have what we call a hand over session where you hand over your designs to a front-end engineer. That process, you get to communicate to them what you have done, how it should flow, and you even get to create like a prototype that shows the flow of the design. So that way it makes it easy. So it's very straightforward. The front end developer does not have to think about why are we having why are we moving from home page to checkout page, or why are we moving from maybe settings back to home page or going back to onboarding page. You just save them the stress of explaining how everything flows. You have your documentation ready and hand it over to them. Then it makes the work very easy, because that way they can't say they don't understand what you designed as a designer.
Awesome. Awesome. That's amazing. Also to our audience, we have the links to the social media handles of speakers in the chat. So feel free to go follow them, because these guys always have content out there, so this could help you get some more insight, more information about opportunities and all that kind of stuff. And also feel free to follow Maxify Global. Our handles are also in the chat. We share industry information, and this will also help you stay up to date with industry trends and also next episodes of TCC. And we also have a link to our YouTube channel in case you want to watch previous videos of previous episodes. And also we're going to be posting this video on our YouTube channels too, so you guys can also always get to reference and in case you forgot one or two things we said here. So next question. This is interesting. As a beginner, what area should I focus more on? UI, UX to be successful? I don't okay. Let's say as a beginner, the person wants to understand which area they should focus on when it comes to UI, UX design.
That question is it's an interesting question, actually. But let me tell you the facts for free here. No area is supposed to be left out. It's more or less like you are building a car and the spark plug is not there. The car is not going to move. Nothing like movement is going to happen for the car. Or you are building a car and you don't have an engine oil section. Every part of UI UX is really important, from the research aspect to the iteration aspect to the design aspect to the prototyping aspect. Everything flows from the top to the bottom. So I would advise that you start from the research aspect. Understand what research is, understand how research works. From there, then you can move to the functionality of the product in terms of building a user flow, having an information architecture, building the prototype, both the low fidelity and the high fidelity aspect of the product. Then from there, then before, it is really important that you have a design system. it is really important that you have a design system. Design system would really help developers while you are handing off the project to them. They know, okay, this is the style, this is the color, this is the font, this is the typeface. Everything needs to be on point. So it is really important that you don't leave any stone unturned when you are learning UI UX. And that is why it is important that you follow through the course. Don't skip. Many people are fascinated with that certificate. They want to get a certificate so they could post on their social media that, oh, I just finished. I was telling someone recently that I didn't do Google UX course. I didn't. I didn't go that route because I don't like I'm not this kind of person that wants validation from anybody. I don't pursue validation from anybody. I just want to do my thing and be good. That's what I do, and that is what has really kept me. You know, I see many people post, I just finished Google US design course, and you ask them, fine, show me your portfolio. They have nothing to present. They just want to have that certificate framed somewhere and hanged in their room. And no recruiter will ask for those certificates. I'm telling you what is obtainable in the industry right now. No recruiter will ask you for your certificate. What they will ask you for is your portfolio. And that's the only bet that you have to get a job anywhere in the world. No one is going to ask, it's not like NYSC or your higher institution certificate that they will ask. Nobody cares about certificate. Everybody cares about execution. And that is where most people are lagging. They just want to get that attention that just finish your US course, this and that. So you must never leave any stone unturned. And one thing I really need to say before I round it off from my on this is that please and please be very open to constructive criticism. Don't see anybody who is trying to correct you about one thing or the other as someone is trying to downplay your intelligence. The moment you begin to be defensive about what you are being corrected about, you are heading backward, and that's the fact. I'm telling you the bitter facts here before you go out there. There's this slang that we Gen Z use now. They will drag you, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Amaka, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think what I'll add to it is that basically, if you're going to learn, just pick up the full process. Start from being a generalist. It gives you time to build. I think I started out being a generalist. I went through the full chain. I started everything. I did UI UX. I started progressing down. I started doing research. I started doing UI. Then at the end of the day, I told myself, I think UX is best for me. Why? I was able to find out my strength and work with it. So just start from the beginning. That way you're able to guide yourself through the journey. And at the end of the day, you get to pick your strength and weakness, because even in UI UX design, we have different fields under the whole general term. So if you start out as a generalist, it gives you the experience you need over time to decide that, okay, I'm not going this way, I'm going that way. And it makes it easy. Yeah. I think that's one thing that should be considered as well. And like Nelson said, don't let them drag you. There's something we do at Betakopa. We don't give so many assignments. I'm not testing you for you to get 8/10, to get 10/10. No, the field we're existing, your process determines if you know it or not. What you design determines if you know it or not. But basically, it's your process. If you can understand process, designing is not a problem. I'll say it anyway. Once you understand the process, designing is not a problem. It comes easy. But first and first, understand that the certificate is just for show. If I'm interviewing you for a job role, I need you to work with me. I want to see your design, which is your portfolio. Then I want you to explain your process. If you can get those two right, I'm good. I don't need your certificate for anything. Even at Betakopa, you get the, I didn't get test, I didn't do this. No, you don't need tests. Explain your processes. Show us your designs. That's what we need in this field. We don't need you to be theoretical. I finished Google, I did this. I'm not saying it's bad. It's also a good process, but at least follow your journey through.
Yeah.
And don't be about the certificates.
That makes sense. I think that makes complete sense because for most times in tech, you get opportunities at startups, and when you find that opportunity at a startup, nobody expects you to come and be just a UX designer. Nobody expects you to come and be just a product designer. You're coming to be the full package. You're going to be a UX designer. You're going to be a UI designer. You're going to be a product designer. You're going to be virtually anything design. Some startups even ask you to design the logo, to design social media ads and all that. So this plays a big role when you actually have that foundation. You have a strong foundation in design. It's all about it's all about principles and the process. Just like Amaka said, you have to. Organizations want to know your thought process. What was the inspiration behind this design? How did you come about it? And then when your process is would I say professional and logical, then that gives you that edge over the next person, the next candidate in a job situation. So I really can't agree more. Next question. Do I need to have a science background before I become a UI UX designer?
No, you don't need it at all. I'm coming from an education background. Let me even state that categorically. I know people that are coming from things like health science, medical background, and all of that. You don't need it. All you need basically is just to have that open mind to learn. If you can understand the process, you're open to learning, you're welcome into tech field. Nobody is holding you to ransom. I know there are jobs that tell you that you have to have a degree in computer science. But at the same time, if you can prove yourself that, okay, this is the test, I'm taking it despite not having a degree in computer science, and you come out well, nobody cares about what you graduated from. As long as you can do the job, you are welcome. You can choose to go on later and get a degree in computer science. That's fine, but it doesn't matter. As long as you are good at what you do, you are open to learning, you're welcome.
Awesome. And you see, that's another beauty about roles in tech. It's really, there's no bias. You're good, you're going to be hired. It's as simple as that. And for you to be that good, you must put in the work, you must follow the process and all that, because organizations are looking for people who can do the job the way they want it to, not about the certificates that are coming behind. We're not saying you can't take certificates. You can get all the certificates, because sometimes it serves as a differentiator. Yeah, this guy and this guy, they are both good, but this guy has this certification and this guy doesn't. So it boils down to that in that kind of a situation. But yeah, that's absolutely correct. Is UI UX different from graphics designer? Are they different from graphics designers, and do they have different types of jobs?
Well, I don't see any. Well, I would say, graphic design is just the umbrella. It's just the umbrella where we have other niches. We have, let me just say, design generally is a big umbrella where we have other design niches just under it. I would say that graphic design, probably what the person means by saying graphic design is the design generalist. I can design logo, I can design flyers, I can design brand, I can see that there is nothing really different. The only difference is the tech aspect of UI UX, where you have to collaborate with uh, product managers, collaborate with co-designers, collaborate with dev team. Aside that, we are still doing the same job. So far, you understand how typography works. You are an intuitive thinker. You have a broad mind to empathize. You can think for users. You are. Let me tell you this fact is that you designing a flyer, you are also empathizing. Forget about all these fancy. You are also empathizing. So we as designers, we are all empathizing. Niches is just what differentiates us. We have people who are in the 3D space. We have people who are in the VR space. We have people, we are all designing for end users. And so
Awesome.
the major difference is that one audience is just different from the other. And that's the major difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question. What tools does the UX designer need to be familiar with?
Well, there are numerous tools out there. I can keep mentioning all and all like that. Management tools like Notion, ClickUp. Then there are some other tools: Figma, Sketch, XD, InVision. For low fidelity prototyping, we have Miro and we have Whimsicott. Or they are tools. If you want to do yourself that good, just Google tools for UI UX designers. You'll be amazed to see amazing products that you can try. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, some of them are free to some users and all like that. And in fact, one of the things that Figma does that makes it more interesting is that they have student accounts and they have educator accounts where they provide everything free for you except for some pro features that won't be free. So they are amazing tools that you can just try out. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's the last question. So at this point, we'll give you guys an opportunity to give us your final and last words of inspiration and motivation to our audience. And then we will have our audience turn on their cameras so we can take a picture. And after that, we'll take some announcements and then we'll wrap it up for this episode. So we'll go ladies first. Nwamaka, final words of encouragement and motivation to our audience, please.
All right. So anyone can come into tech basically, and you're accepted. Just come in with an open mind and be willing to learn. Now, if you're already in tech and you're looking for the fastest way to grow, I would say mentorship and volunteering. Now, please, if you're going to meet a mentor, please come very empty-minded. Don't come in all defensive. Don't come in trying to prove a point. Don't come in trying to be like you're going to be very available for me, because mentors also have what they are doing and they cannot be readily available. Like Tersoo said, if you can Google it, saves us the stress. Google it and get back to us. And also, if you feel like you are not sure about your field, feel free to discuss with someone. I, for one, I'm open to discussing. At least let's save you the stress of having to figure out where I'm supposed to be and where I'm not supposed to be. You can send me a message on LinkedIn or Twitter. I would answer you and would sort that out basically. but then be open to learning. The tech world is ever evolving. So just know you're going to stay consistent. And if you're like some of us who swore the day we wrote our last exam that we're not going to read anything, including Billboard. Please, sorry, we'll read a lot in this field. Welcome. That's all I would say. And then you can check out betakopa.com if you want to. You see valuable free lessons there too. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate these words. Nelson?
Actually, Nwamaka has said a lot. She has said a lot. But I would just say this. Please, don't come into tech because of the money. Why I'm saying this is because I've seen so many people come, they say, I want to come into tech. That's the gold mine right now.
Oh,
You
yeah,
will
money.
end up, you might end up being broke and regretful. Come in because you want to make an impact. Come in because you feel it's a how do I put it? There's a sacrifice you need to pay because before the money comes, there's something we call blood and sweat. blood and
Plenty.
blood and sweat, blood and sweat. So please don't come in because of the money alone. Yeah, and also be open to learning. You keep learning. I'm also learning. Like I'm also learning. I would share this, and now I'll wrap it up by saying that aside the regular products that everyone is familiar with, I'm being futuristic by trying to learn more in the VR space, in the AR space, because that is another industry that is still at its midden in Africa. Yeah. So you keep learning. You don't know everything. You don't know everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys have been very inspiring. I'm personally inspired myself, you know, because like you guys rightly said, the learning doesn't stop. No matter what you think you know, you get to meet someone else and you'll be like, whoa, so this is in this industry. And then, you just get encouraged to keep learning. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to thank both of you uh, so much for joining us and sharing your insights. I'm sure our audience are inspired and really motivated to take their careers very seriously and take the bold step, take the next steps, and they have direction now. They are no longer as confused as they were before they joined us. So just like you guys rightly said, it's all about value. For us at Maxify, we first look at what we're doing and say, okay, how is this going to make the lives of people better? So how can we help our customers make the lives of people better by building software solutions that will help them solve real life problems? So when we focus on that, they all are always excited and they tell their friends, and that's how we keep going. And that's how it works even in careers. The minute your value is clear, you're helping people's lives get better, you are definitely going to be vouched for. You need a sponsor, somebody who will speak for you in rooms that you don't have access to. So this is really critical, and you can only get that by really putting in your best for the little tasks that you're given. So next up, we will ask everybody in the room, if you're in a place where you feel it's bright enough, turn on your cameras and let's take a group photo. And after that, we will just take a couple of announcements and then we wrap it up for this episode. Feel free to follow Maxify Global on all social media handles, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and also our amazing speakers. We have their social media handles in our link in the chat room. Feel free to also follow them. These guys have a lot of content they post on a steady. Mr. Nelson is always posting. I see him posting on Twitter 247. So yeah, feel free. Thank you, guys. Awesome. So we would like to say a very big thank you to our audience. If you're joining us for the first time, we hope you had an amazing time. If you're joining us for the second or third time, we're sure you had a ride for your time. Thank you very much. We appreciate you all. We noticed people joining from so many countries. We have Canada, we have the United States, we have South Africa, we have Ghana, we have Nigeria, we have Kenya, we have so many other countries. Thank you very much. We urge you all to continue to follow us on social media, and I look forward to the next episode of TCC. And I remain your host, Tersoo Hulugh. Thank you very much, and have an amazing week.